Okay, this is the video for Algebra 2, Unit 6, Lesson 1. So I would definitely recommend just reading through some of the terminology at the top of the lesson. Some key things that you just kind of need to know are going to be what we talk about when we mean terms, variables and constants, and what the differences between those are. So let's just kind of talk about that real quick. So when we look at something like this, the entire unit here is called a term. Within that term, we have some parts. We have constants, like 3. 3 is a constant. X is a variable. And then, of course, we have exponents. So terms are any combination of constants and variables joined together by multiplication or by exponents. So all of this is a term, the blue thing that's bracketed in blue, and it's made up of constants and variables. So let's hop back over here, and most of those questions are going to be referring to those ideas right there, numbers 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So just check the vocabulary at the top for those. So there are some things that cannot be present in a term. In a term, the two things that you cannot have, there can be no division of variables. Now, that really just means that you cannot have a variable in the denominator. So 3 over x versus x over 3. This is a no. This is good. Next, you can have no negative exponents on a variable. So you cannot have b to the negative 4th power. That is not okay. So this is not cool. So you can have no negative exponents. So you need to know that. And so that's going to be what helps you answer number 5. And then they're just having you do some basic operations with these. So let's talk through kind of how each of these goes. The first concept we need to understand is what we mean when we say combining like terms. So I'll do an example like number 6. Let's say I had 3a plus 7a. All that's going to happen, it's like I have these a's, I have 3 of them, and I have 7 of these a's here. So together it makes 10a. So that's what happens when you add these types. Same thing is true of subtraction. So if I had 8b minus 2b, the b's don't go away because I'm subtracting. What happens is I get 6b. Now, that's what you're going to do in number 6. Now, in number 7, things get a little bit more complicated in number 7 and number 8. We've got some issues here with some negatives and things like that. So let's talk through a little bit about how those types of problems go. You should be familiar with this, should be more or less a review, but let's just practice it so we make sure we're aware of what's happening. So let's just say we have 2a minus 4 minus 6a plus 3. That's not quite like what we have, but we'll do this one anyway. Actually, I'm going to make one change here. I'm going to make it like this. So let me just, oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's try this again. Yes. Okay. So let's say we have this and we want to simplify. In order to simplify this, we have to get rid of all the parentheses and deal with this negative right here. So really, when I simplify, the next step is going to say 2a minus 4 minus a minus 3. So this negative, even though there's not a number here, it's being distributed throughout this parentheses. So it'll be minus a minus 3. So now I need to combine like terms. That should be familiar to you, that idea. So I'm going to combine 2a minus a. 2a's minus 1a, is a 1 here, is 1a. 1a. And then I have minus 4 minus 3. So that's going to be minus 7. And so the final answer would be a minus 7. So that's more or less what you're doing in number 7 and in number 8. You're dealing with this negative in the expression. Now in number 8, nothing is going to be able to combine, and you'll see how that is. None of these 4 are compatible with each other. Now, in the second half of Algebra 2, and you'll notice this starting here at number 9, is they're going to start mixing in problems that are review problems. Okay, so I'm going to address those in the most simple way possible. I want our focus to be on the things that we're learning in this lesson. I don't want to get bogged down on these extra questions. So I'm going to give you some pointers on how to do these quickly and easily. So with number 9, find the vertex. I'll put a link in the video description. I would recommend doing Desmos graphing calculator. You can see the address right there, but I'll put it in the video description. So what you want to do is you want to put this expression into the Desmos calculator. So let's do it. Bring this up. Y equals 3x squared minus 12. 3x squared minus 12x plus 6. And so then I'm going to close my little window there. I'm going to see what the vertex is. This is the vertex right here. It is 2, negative 6. And so I'm going to choose the answer that goes there. This, I would recommend just anytime you have vocabulary words in your review questions, they're usually going to be at the end of the lesson, I would just Google that. The intersection of a plane with one or both naps of a double cone. Okay, so I'll tell you right now, it's conic section. So conic section, and I would go ahead and it'd be worthwhile to Google that term and just see what it's referring to. Lastly, identify the element of the matrix X, 2, 4. So in this kind of expression, these two terms refer to the rows and the columns. So this is saying what is in row 2, that would be this row right here. What is in row 2, column 4. So row 2, column 4, and you choose the number that's in that position. So that's it for this video. And stay tuned for the next lesson.